Hello everybody, my name is Harold Meyer. For those of you who are new, we do this biblical podcast every day. And yeah, so let's get to today's Bible verse, which is Luke 19:38, saying, "Blessed be the King who cometh in the name of the Lord, peace in heaven and glory in the highest." So what does that mean? That means that if we do things in God's name, that we're gonna get blessed, that we're gonna have peace, that we're gonna have glory. And listen, I believe that you don't have to be a king to have glory. What you have to do is you have to come in God's name. You have to study His Word. You have to apply it to your life. Because if we do all that, but the most important thing is to love our God with all of our heart. Because if you're gonna do that, then you're gonna do all the rest. And whenever I say all of our heart, I mean all of it. And listen, God did not say that you would be perfect. He didn't say that you would go through hard times. He didn't say that you wouldn't go through any times where you like question Him or something like that. But He did say this. He did say that we're born into a world of sin. So that's a lot of times that's where the problem starts. That world of sin. And He did say, "For all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God." The only one who didn't sin was Jesus. And you could argue that He wasn't really a person, that He just took on human form. But yeah, so to me, that's what that means. That is to come in the name of Him. And what do we do whenever we come in the name of Him? Well, we don't come wanting to hurt one another. We don't come wanting to destroy one another. A lot of times we come just to simply understand one another better. Like but sometimes we do things that are not good. Like we might have arguments about silly things, we might have arguments about foolish things, we might have arguments about earthly things. But listen, there's an old Bible verse that don't plan that basically says that if you're doing something that you telling the other person not to do, it's gonna just make you look foolish. And yeah, it'll just make you look foolish. Because if you do, like, let's say somebody's drinking and you drinking, and if you're saying that drinking's bad for you, but you're doing it too, how is that gonna make you look? It's gonna make you look foolish. Let's break that down again, saying, "Blessed be the King who cometh in the name of the Lord." So if we come in His name, we'll be blessed, and we'll bless others. Peace in heaven. Peace in heaven, yeah, that means that there's peace in heaven and glory in the highest. So what does that mean? That means that God's gonna reward us for coming in His name sometimes. Sometimes we're gonna get that reward here on earth. Sometimes we're gonna get a reward whenever we go to heaven. It's all up to God. And cause I'm sorry, I'm stuttering a lot. I don't really know what else to say right now. And what does it mean by coming in the name of saying, "Blessed be came in the name of the Lord"? What does that mean? That came in the name of the Lord. Well, to me that means that we come not in our name, but in His. We don't come to better ourselves sometimes. Sometimes we come to better others. Because sometimes we doing okay, or we might just want to help out somebody else. Sometimes that's what it is, that we just want to help out somebody else. Sometimes we want to help out somebody who's going through a hard time, and we don't want to fuss them about something, but we want them to better understand us. Sometimes we just want to better understand somebody. To better understand why they're doing this, what they're getting out of it, what's going on. That's what I get from it. Sometimes we say things that we shouldn't say, and do things that we shouldn't do. And to me, that's not glory, that's foolishness sometimes. Sometimes, well, that is foolishness all the time. If we say, because a lot of times we say something and we don't really think about it. Or we say something and we might say it to hurt somebody else. Or we might do things that we shouldn't do. Yep. So, just please keep the people of Ukraine in your prayers. They're going through a lot right now with Russia and China. And please keep me in your prayers too. I've had a history of depression. I've had a history of racing thoughts. I've had a history of I think I said this before, but of depression. I've had a history, and then I have Tourette's. And whenever all of them combine, that's not good. That's not good at all. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at the camera. That's not good. I hear that wind picking up. I don't know if y'all can hear that. But anyway, yeah, so we need to come in God's name and do things in His name. What does that mean, doing something in God's name? It means not doing something not to better ourselves, but to better God and to help others. Because God said, if you take care of like an orphan, He'll view you that as you taking care of Him. Or if you take care of a widow, He'll view you that as taking care of Him. And that's what God calls the church to do sometimes. Sometimes God calls us to use our funding to help take care of widows, to help take care of others. Not just to buy new fancy equipment or to pay the pastor or to pay somebody else. He calls us to take care of the widows and the orphans. And what better uses of your money is there to take care of widows and orphans? I mean, I know that you can use your money to help. If you're a church, you can use your money to help get better equipment, or to pay the pastor more, or to pay somebody else more, or to do something more. But yeah, and I know that, look, I understand that pastors need money. Because they do. Because it costs us money just to drive the church sometimes. Sometimes it costs us money just to, well, all the time it costs us money to drive, even in an electric vehicle. Sometimes sometimes pastor needs to feed their family. But listen, sometimes pastors have sometimes the church has a good bit of money, and God's calling us to be like, hey, can you use that money to help feed the poor, to help feed the widows, to help feed the homelessness, to help feed the and whatever. And sometimes there is another Bible verse that says, if you teach them, if you fish for a man, you feed him for a day. If you teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. So sometimes that's what God also is calling us to do with the money. To teach them to fish. To teach them how to get a job. To teach them how to teach them how to make sure that they know the Bible. To teach them about the Bible. Yeah. So a lot of times we need to apply that, we need to come in the name of the Lord. And it did not say that we wouldn't sin. He didn't say we wouldn't mess up sometimes. He didn't say we wouldn't do this, that, or that. He said that we would. He didn't say that we wouldn't go to heaven or hell. Well, actually, he says, if you have a relationship with God, you're going to go to heaven. A good relationship. But that's what God's looking for whenever He makes sure that you go to heaven or hell. Did you have a relationship with God, and how close were you? Because let's face facts, not all of us is going to go to heaven. Not all of us is going to go to hell. Yeah, and some of us right now are being misled. Some of us are being fooled. Some of us are being just corrupted. Some of us right now are being like I said earlier, corrupted. And what do I mean by corrupted? I mean that like some of us are being misled, and we're doing it maybe not willingly, but we're doing it a lot. Like for example, some of us might believe in the Muslim God. Some of us might believe in ancient Egyptian gods. Some of us might believe in Islam. Yeah, and to me that's very shocking because some of us might be getting tempted right now to sin. Some of us might be drinking right now. Some of us might be doing this, that, or that, whenever we're supposed to be doing something in God's name. And what does it mean by doing something in God's name? I mean doing something to better Him and His relationship with others. Instead of doing things like drinking and being a fool and acting foolishly. Because some of us don't want to hear that we're acting foolishly. Some of us want to hear, you're doing good in this, that, or the other, or you're doing good with that, or the other, or you're doing good, we always want to focus on the positive, never the negative. And listen, they got some people that all they want to do is say, "Oh, you blessed for this, that, or the other," God's not gonna. If you ask for God to help you, He'll take care of this. Sometimes He will, sometimes He doesn't. Sometimes He was like, you caused this. I'll be there to help you go through it, but I'm not gonna help you heal from it right away. It's gonna take some time. Yeah, so, and sometimes things take time. Sometimes things, aren't done automatically. I know that sometimes we want the things to be done right here, right now, but God's like, look, be patient. Or sometimes He tests us and be like, you know what, I might, sometimes He tests us. Like if you're a former Bud Light drinker, sometimes you might be like, okay, well, what's gonna happen if you go to the store and see some Bud Light? Are you gonna start up again? Or are you gonna, or are you gonna struggle with this, that, or the other again? Or are you going to drink again? Or are you going to start it all over again? Understand? The drinking I was talking about? But anyway, sometimes God tests us, and sometimes these tests are for us to show. Sometimes the tests help us show love for one another. Sometimes the tests help us do for one another. Like, what? Well, let me take that back. Sometimes the test is like for us to help out one another. And by help out one another, I mean that sometimes for those of us who, let's say if you drink a lot, and let's say if you see somebody that's about to buy another beer, what do? Do you let them do it? Do you try to be like, hey, that's not right? Do you try to be like, hey, you shouldn't do that? I mean, what do? If you see somebody else drinking, sometimes that's a test. I know that sometimes our job's on the line, which I can understand that, but sometimes, we just an ordinary person that sees this going on in our community, going on in our church, going on in our relationship with God. Yeah, and how do we study and worship God? Well, we study God whenever it comes to our Bible, and we worship Him. Well, we worship Him always. Always worship God. And I say that, you can't worship God whenever you're sleeping, as far as I know. Unless He, comes visit you in a dream or something. Or, we can't always, be there for one another, but what we can do is encourage one another to stop what we're doing, to stop the sin. And that's also coming in the name of the Lord. That's what I believe. If you come to stop somebody from sinning, you're coming in the name of the Lord. But anyway, so just please keep me in your prayers. I'm going through a lot right now. Please keep my family in your prayers. Please keep my dad and mom in your prayers. Because my mama, my daddy has back problems because he had an offshore accident. And my mama has problems with her foot. And she also works. And yeah, please keep them in your prayers. Also, please pray for the widows, the lost, the hungry, the poor. All of them. And a lot of them right now need our help because a lot of them live in countries where it's been torn apart by war, where it's been torn apart by famines, where it's just been torn apart. Some people don't know whenever they're going to get their next paycheck. Some people don't know how they're going to afford to pay the bills. Some people don't know how they're going to be able to afford all of this. All of this. Because, you know, a lot of us, we help the poor and needy whenever we can. But sometimes we can't do it all on our own. We need each other's help. Anyway, bye guys. Hey guys, if y'all like this video and y'all want to share the word of God, y'all can like and subscribe and comment. And if y'all want to donate some money, we have a Patreon page. Now the Patreon stuff starts at $3 a month and it goes up to $25. And the reason why we do it monthly is because that gives us an idea of what we're going to be able to make like for the next month. Anyway, bye guys.